Well, Dave couldn't make this episode, so Dave thought he would steal the intro away from the guys. Welcome to Lap 22, everybody. It's a good episode ahead of you, I can guarantee it. And Lap 23 coming around the bend is going to be deer iRacing. That's going to come out really soon. So stay tuned, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thanks.
What do we got here? We got the Three Musketeers here for what? We got three topics here. We got some, we need some NASCAR, get into this past 6 hours at the Glen, and we got a little preview here of Formula One. Where are they headed off to, Levi?
Red Bull Ring, baby.
Red Bull
Austrian.
Ring. Let's go. That's going to be a good one. But
yeah, everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
Oh, everybody loves it. Figure off we kick it off with some NASCAR like we always do. So rolling into the weekend here at Nashville Super Speedway. I thought
Nashville
Super Speedway, which I learned today is in Tennessee. I didn't know that because I'm Canadian and have no geographical knowledge of the United States of America.
What?
So,
wow.
Anyways,
Ray's going to be pissed at you.
It's just Ray. Who cares? It's fine. Anyways, moving on. I thought overall it was a decent race. I mean, we were off last week, so everybody's back in the car after their 1 week vacation, doing whatever they wanted to do. I mean, I guess from an action-packed standpoint, it wasn't anything crazy. It was just another race. I enjoyed it because I just always enjoy everything, so that's always a good sign. But how did it go? Well, it was a 300-lap race, which was cool. I was happy to see the lap count lower because it's a mile and a third. I mean, how do you guys feel about the length? I thought it was pretty good length.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't get to watch the whole thing, but what I did watch just seemed like it was going good. It had a good flow, it seemed like, compared to some of the other stuff they've been putting out there. But, yeah, I'm just, I'm kind of just don't understand. What makes a super speedway now? Can I quickly ask that? Like everything's a super speedway. Used to it was just Daytona and Talladega, but now what? That one's a super speedway? Atlanta's a super speedway? So what does it technically make it a super speedway?
I always thought when I was growing up, a super speedway was over 2.5 miles.
I thought it was over 2 miles or whatever. I mean, it's the same thing because there's nothing between 2 and 2.5, I guess, at this point. But yeah, I don't know. And I think Nashville Super Speedway is more of like a history thing. Like I think that's what it was named back in the day, and it was considered big at the time. Because I guess back in the day, everything was just a short track. I don't know. They drove on the beach, so what do I know? But yeah, no, we should fact check that one, but it's a mile and a third for those who don't know. Weirder size of what we're used to. Not normally, we normally never see something in that middle range of 1.5 to a mile. Usually it's short or long, aside from Phoenix.
Good.
But
so yeah, it says that it's a 1.3 mile. Is that right?
Yeah, it's a mile and a third. It's pretty cool actually.
A super speedway is a track that is greater than 2 miles.
No, it isn't.
So apparently not. We're here in Nashville.
In NASCAR, the most memorable tracks are super speedways, including Talladega, Indianapolis, and Daytona.
Oh, I forgot about Indy. Sorry about that, Indy lovers.
Well,
that is my bad. Forgot about that.
Everything's bigger in Texas. Well, in Tennessee, they can't read. So a mile and a third it is. So anyways, moving on.
Anyway, sorry, sidetrack. Keep trucking.
Anyways, moving on.
We just lost all our Tennessee listeners.
Anyways, we had, so Ross Chastain pretty much dominated the entire weekend. He qualified, put her on pole. I mean, he was up there in practice too. I think he was third. Qualifying, puts it on pole. Stage 1 finishes P2. Stage 2 finishes P3. And in the race, he caps her off and takes the win over Denny Hamlin. Which, by the way, can we congratulate this guy on a zero, like a problem-free weekend? Anyone? Like, what? This never happens.
Finally, right?
And he was racing Denny Hamlin, of all people. Anyways, I thought that was cool. It was nice to see him not absolutely set him up for failure in the media. So that was cool. Happy for him, sort of. I mean, not my most favorite guy, but the watermelon smash was pretty cool, so I'll take it. But it's
his own little thing. It's his own little thing. He started to really, really do that. It's pretty neat. I love it when people have their own little thing, Danny with the shoey.
Yeah.
And those kind of things 100%. Are really cool.
I wish Travis had more character in that regard.
He beat Truex.
No, he beat Denny too, technically.
Denny was third, but
technically he beat him.
Yeah,
too.
but he was
technically he beat 42 other guys.
Well, he was racing Denny just before he was racing Truex. It's all the same thing anyways.
Gotta give some love to my man Truex, though. Come on now, still doing it. He's having a really good season.
He is actually. He's doing pretty good. I'm happy to see him
Crazy
back up there
season.
doing well, because I thought he was going to fall off and we were just never going to see him again. But
Nice. Still got some
You
wins in him.
scared me there, Antonio. I was like, I swear he was racing Truex, so I had to go look it up. And I was like, okay.
Well, he was racing Denny at some point. That's all that matters. Okay, he got by Denny clean, and they didn't kill each other. That's all that really matters. That's what I was trying to get at. Not necessarily that he was racing Denny for the win at the time. But anyways, moving on.
Truex was trying to run him down there at the end and just fell. He just pushed too hard there at the end, I felt.
Yeah, Truex was getting close. I was watching him, the gap close, and then it kind of just sat there like, I don't know, was it like a second and a half or something? It wasn't very far.
7/10 is what I want to say it finished at.
Oh, yeah, maybe something.
Got it down to a half a second, and then 1 and 2, he was gaining on him, and then 3 and 4, Truex just had nothing. He just couldn't do anything in 3 and 4, and he'd pull back on him.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool track. It almost reminds me of like a little bit smaller version of Kansas, because it's got like, Kansas has that like really wide front straightaway, and you can like jump below the line if you wanted to. You can stay above it. I don't know. I feel like the banking and stuff kind of gives me Kansas similarities, but it's cool. I mean, I haven't raced it in iRacing. I remember when it came out, I thought it was cool. So that was I thought overall it was a pretty cool track. Not going to talk about my boy Blaney this week. He got
No, I think we should talk about it.
Absolutely decimated. But you know what? Hey, you know what? A Chevy won, so that's all that really matters at the end of the day. So, anyways, moving on. Yeah, but
Was Blaney in the was that the Brad K, or was that a separate incident?
no, that was
the-
the Brad
this-
K incident.
So yeah, it was midway through the first stage, correct? There was a restart, and I don't know what happened. Does anybody know what happened with Brad K? Because what it looked like to me was he missed a gear. That's what it always looked like in NASCAR, where you go for a minute and then you just die out. And I'm like, how do you miss a gear? Aren't they're sequential now? Like, how does that happen?
They said he spun his tires.
From what I heard, and I don't know, there's a lot of sources saying different things, but from what I heard, is his car, for some reason, he said it was lacking power. So he went to go,
Just
it didn't
bogged
go,
down.
and then right as they were supposed to do the shift up to third, he got hit, and it knocked his hand off the shifter, sent him to the inside, and then he was just an absolute pylon and caused a big stack up. And in that stack up, Busch ran into the back of Blaney. Not Busch's fault. He just, he can't really see anything. Nothing happens. You're bumper to bumper at that point. And long story short, it sends Blaney barreling towards the inside wall. What I thought was weird is he had all 4 tires locked up, and he was headed to what appeared to be like he wasn't going to hit the wall. But then he let go of the brake and just slid the thing right into the wall, which, by the way, there was no safer barrier, and he hit that perfectly perpendicular. That's the right word. Anyways,
Yep.
he hit it, and that was a hard hit. Like, that did not look like it was going to be one, and he slammed that wall.
Hit it at the 045. Yeah.
So my thought on it, I didn't hear him interview or anything, but I think when he got off the grass, he released the brake and tried to floor it because he thought he was going to hit the wall. And he had his wheels cut all the way to the right, and I think he was trying to spin the car back out to the right so he'd miss the wall and keep the car. But when he did that and he floored it, the fronts didn't grip and the rears gripped up, and it just shot him straight.
Yeah, that was definitely
when I was watching, I was thinking the same thing, Antonio. I was like, man, like they were watching the replays, slow-mos, and you're like, for like a split second, I was like, man, I feel like he could have done something there. And then I was like, you know what? I'm not in that car doing 85 to 90 miles an hour, probably still 100 and something at that point, careening towards a wall. Who am I to tell him what he's supposed to do?
When I was watching it, I watched it like, oh, that was a hard hit. And then I started watching the replay, and I was playing a game with some buddies, and I was like, I think he actually accelerated. And we all watched it in slow-mo, and we're like, yeah, he definitely got back on the accelerator.
It was weird, man.
It was a weird one.
I don't know. I mean, I hate to diss drivers in the moment, because we all know what it's like being in the driver's seat. You just make sometimes really bad decisions. But I thought he was going to clear the wall. Like, I thought it looked like he was going to clear it by a mile. I mean, I don't know. What'd you guys see? I really thought he was going to make it.
I think he was going to still hit the wall. And in that split second, I think the decision he made was good. But then it didn't work, and he went into oh shit mode.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, if you didn't watch the Nashville race, I will say one thing that's cool that you should go take away from it is, if you get a chance, go watch the race. And around 4 to go in stage 1, they started talking about the updates they did to the car with the front and rear clip to make them more to absorb the impact more. Because I don't know if you noticed, but Blaney's car got absolutely decimated, and that is for a reason. Like if you looked at the old Rex in an old car, or not the old car, but like, you know, this car when it first came out, with how able to take a hit it was because it was built stronger, it would have probably made it out of that pretty good shape. But in this wreck, it actually folded up and absorbed the impact really well. So they did, in the rear clip, they made some adjustments. They took, there's basically a bar that runs from back to front that connects the rear clip to the, I'm going to call it the monocoque for lack of a better term, just because I know most people who listen watch F1, so you'll understand the concept of how the car's broken up into thirds. And anyways, there's a bar on the top, a bar on the bottom on each end of the car. And to my understanding, they removed the top one, and on the bottom one, they made it kind of like, I can't remember if it was angled or if it's just thinner and it's more likely to absorb an impact. And on the front, same concept. They removed, there's like these struts that go on a 45-degree angle connecting a bar that runs across what would be where the firewall is that separates the engine from the cockpit. And there's a couple extra bars and some other clip stuff that they just made smaller on an angle. Anyways, long story short, essentially they made it so that the clips absorb the impacts a lot more. So in Blaney's wreck, his car looked like it got destroyed, but it actually did its job. Anyways, at lap 4, they ran over that and they showed the breakdown like they do, the cutaway car, and they showed you all those pieces that they changed, and those were very crucial. I would definitely go take a look at it. It's super cool.
Yeah, and I was looking at something also, and it might have just been something before all this, but it was a couple weeks ago when they kind of started this breakaway car, like the crumple zones or whatever they were trying to get, you know, I guess what you're talking about. But they said they were going to do something about like perforating pretty much some of the front end, you know, so that it would hold its structure while it's driving, but if it ever had an impact, it would actually crumple there and start the breakdown. I don't know if they did some of that too, but I thought that was interesting. But yeah, they're doing a lot, you know, here we go with safety podcast again. But they are doing a lot in NASCAR to try to rectify some of the issues they've had with the car being more dangerous, and it seems like the drivers have been more susceptible to injuries, especially concussions and that kind of stuff. So he did hit at a 45, like you said. Seems to be okay, and the car did what it was supposed to fall apart. So
yeah, I thought overall it was good. Even in the rear bumper, I know they said they changed some stuff as well to just absorb the hit quite a bit better. I'll see if I can find some stuff to drop in the Discord chat, which, by the way, if you haven't checked our Discord out, here's a perfect time to throw an ad in for it. Come check us out, the Lap Zero podcast.
Lap Zero podcast.
But no, anyways, besides the point, I just think I'm happy to see NASCAR doing a great job. I love the cutaway car, by the way. That's awesome. I think every series needs that. I know F1 rarely does it, but they do it sometimes. I'm not sure if IMSA does it. Norman can probably talk to that a little bit more, but they definitely should have that in every series. I think teaching people about what goes into the cars is huge to keep people interested, to show them, hey, like, look at all this R&D that goes into the car, especially NASCAR. We know it's stock, but dude, people don't even know what goes into these things. It's actually crazy.
IMSA would be kind of hard to do with, right now they have 4 classes. Next year they'll have 3 classes. It's, you know, I think it is a good idea. I think IndyCar has something similar to it that they do, but they, like F1, you barely ever see it in their broadcast.
Yeah, I guess IndyCar is probably what I should have referred it to. I guess I meant IndyCar more than I did IMSA, but I guess trailing on to that, what else did we have going on in that race that was crazy? I guess that was pretty much it. I mean, we had a couple other spins. Reddick lost a wheel going back onto pit road after he felt the loose wheel, so.
Yeah, I mean, how bad are you being a gunman if you've only got one lug and you still can't get it on right?
I've got a question on that. So they said that because the tire did come off until he was on pit road, none of his crew members get suspended.
I thought he wasn't on pit road, though. Did he technically make it on the pit road by the time it came out?
Yeah, the wheel made it to pit road because he choked it out.
And then that's when the tire came dislodged from the car. But before
the lug,
it was going, you could see the tire wasn't part of the car.
But the lug made it to like section 17B. Because that son of a gun was going when it came off his car straight up the track. I don't think it went into the crowd. That's a joke, everybody. Calm down. But, yeah, I mean, so the lug didn't make it. So I think like one of them should get like half race suspension for like to the lug not making it back to pit road. But how goofy is that ruling, honestly?
I didn't hear that. That's hilarious. So that's kind of weird. Did he really like lose it on pit road? Like he made it to touch pit road before he lost it?
He spun
onto pit road, and that's where
the wheel was still part of the car at the time, and then once it came all the way around, it flung
because didn't he spin and then like his front end was in pit road, but his rear end wasn't, and then like as soon as it transitioned from grass to pavement, that's when it popped off or something.
Yep, which is on pit road.
Did the tire keep going into the pits too?
Oh,
that's a scam.
Like, you can't roll that. The lug was already off the car, and the tire was loose, is what caused him to spin on the pit road.
All right, boys, take notes. If you lose your tire, make sure it's on pit road.
Yep.
You will not
hold it on.
Lose your pit crew member. That's all you need to know.
Hold on, little tire. I'm almost there.
He got the caution out of it, too, which is even crazier.
Yeah, he didn't lose much time.
So
they did win.
This might already be a thing, but is there a rule saying that if you cause the caution, you go to the back or anything? Because I was just trying to think, like, in that situation, the caution kind of benefited him. I mean, he probably might have gone a lap down still, but, I mean, if you are going to have that problem anyways, like, why not just spin or something? I guess that's why Crashgate was a thing back in the day anyway, so we can't really talk too much on it.
Yeah, who was that? Who was that, by the way? Was that Boyer, wasn't it? Wasn't it Boyer for
I want to
his
say
teammate?
It was Boyer or something.
Because Boyer was the one who was like, I think it's getting loose. Am I right? And they're like, yeah, I think your car's getting loose.
It was the most sus thing ever.
Stupid.
Yeah, it was just like, hey, it's looking a little slick out there. Yeah, it is. And then
you're
he
right,
spins
buddy.
it or something. Oh, no. Anyways.
I'm losing it. The other one was when Robbie... The next one was when Robbie Gordon waits till he's down a straightaway. Like going down the straightaway, he pulls off out of the draft a little bit at one of the little 1.5-mile tracks or something. He pulls off the racing line and throws a big chunk of freaking foam out the window. And then he, like, as soon as he throws it, he gets on the radio and says there's debris on the backstretch. Like, you can't be the one that calls it when you throw something out.
Oh, that's
Gordon. I miss Robbie Gordon in NASCAR so much.
I do have to say, I think his team, they still get fined with this. There's no suspensions coming from it. And I think NASCAR needs to review that rule.
Yeah, that one's definitely interesting. Well, haven't we had people lose tires in pit lane, though, like exiting the box and stuff, and they've still been handed penalties, though, or maybe not?
I think they still get the fine. They don't get the crew chief, car chief, and the guy that does the tire suspended for like 6 races.
So, but what about if the tire rolls onto the track? Is that classified as, like, does that make a difference?
I don't know. I don't
guess as good as mine.
You're the NASCAR guy.
Hey, now. I can't know everything. I'm not the encyclopedia here.
Well, it has to be, right? Because, so what you're asking is if it would have went back out on the track, it would have been a different story. Is that what you're asking?
Well, would it be? I guess.
I don't think so.
Know.
It would have been because on the pits, like when you're doing a pit stop, right?
Oh, yeah, runaway tire, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be under the same ruling, I think.
I don't know. My brain's spinning. Let's move on to IMSA.
I think the rule should be stated that if you lose a tire leaving pit lane, then there are no suspensions. But if you lose the tire after you have left pit lane, there are suspensions. Not if you lose it on pit lane.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably an easier way to word it. But anyways,
I'm pretty sure NASCAR is rewriting their rule book right now.
Hold on a second there. Don't tell me you said you wanted to go to IMSA without talking about what's coming next week for NASCAR, right? Oh, big Chi-Town, bro. Everybody's throwing shade at Chicago anyways. Is that next weekend?
How did I forget? You're
Come
right.
on now. Chicago at a 4 p.m. race. Why? How could you forget that?
Yeah, that's kind of a
time
crazy.
With the July weekend.
4th of July weekend. Let's go to Chicago. Let's get shot by drive-by and race some NASCAR. Kyle Busch is already, I know I saw an article where he's come out, which he does bitch a lot, but he came out and said that he's been racing the simulator and it's pretty much an effing joke. You know what I mean? Like, he's just not excited about this whatsoever. He's not the only one. There's been a couple other people who's come out and said it too. What are y'all's guys' take on Chicago? Have you raced it in sim? Have you tried the track? I haven't because I don't see a point in it. If I can stop a car and then accelerate a car and then stop a car and then accelerate a car, I mean, it's really, really fast, like stop and go traffic pretty much. I think that's pretty much what it's going to be.
I didn't even buy the track in iRacing because I was so like, I won't ever race this track, so why buy it?
Yeah.
I don't want to judge it too hard before I've seen it be raced. I know, wasn't our guest last week, or was he with 2 weeks ago? Anyways, Stephen Miles,
2 weeks ago.
good old Caboose.
Caboose.
Didn't he say he liked that place? I thought he was talking about liking
I
it.
think he was talking about it. Yeah, because you said the same thing, not to trash on it, and then he had some positive things to say about it. And maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I'm not giving it a fair shake. So let's give it a fair shake. But
before we go any further, real quick to put this in, talking about Caboose, congratulate him on his championship he won last week. And brain fart forgot the series.
Nice. That's a little important there, don't you think?
I could do is pull up our Instagram, bro.
Hey, yeah, I was gonna say, perfect timing. Let's shout out the Instagram. Check us out at the Lap Zero Podcast. Your boy right here definitely runs that Instagram. We got a nice little post going on there.
Yeah, we will be trying to post more on there.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
getting fired up with that. We're just getting fired up with that.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, we're still getting there. Don't worry, we'll be there.
Caboose won the Cyber Thunder Racing League Division II Championship last week. And just like to support those who support us, he runs our logo on his car. So big shout out to him.
Caboose. Way to go, bud. Way to go.
You are not the caboose this time. You were at the front. You are
it's his first championship too. So he was very excited for it.
Bro. Noise. Yeah, dude's good. Good dude.
Crazy.
Broke out some blue label for that one.
Nice. Well, anyways, at Chicago, you should be able to get a free riot shield with your purchase of your ticket, so we'll have to see how that goes. I do think it's definitely a weird place to go try out a street circuit, but I ain't too sure about that. I mean,
man,
definitely on a big NASCAR. Like, 4th of July has always been a big NASCAR weekend.
Well, that's why they're doing it. They're trying to prop it up. I mean, here's the deal, right? We got into this with F1. We got into this with NASCAR. This is what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're trying to take it to people's homes. They're trying to take it to the streets. They're trying to take it where they can get more people in. I say, like I said, I'm going with Antonio. I'm going to calm down, cool my jets. We're going to give it a shake. See how it goes. The deal was, that Kyle was talking about, Kyle Busch. Same thing I was worried about. Street circuits in NASCAR just does not seem like a good idea. There's not enough runoff. I mean, we need runoff in NASCAR. There's things that are going to happen, and it's just... they're harder to control and stuff. So he said there was big undulations coming on and off of different, roads and this and that NASCAR has raced on. I mean, hell, they race at COTA, but it's not the best. They usually have banking in their favor where they're racing. So
yeah, I like to see street tracks in like F1 and IndyCar, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't really think it's something that belongs in NASCAR. I think I like to see expansion and diversity in track selection and what we do, and I know the sport's always evolving, but I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm open to seeing street tracks, but this is probably not the place I would have tried it. But again, I'm not going to diss it before I see it. Let's see how it goes. Maybe it's good. Maybe it's not. Who cares? Let's see.
Yep. Can't wait. Honestly, I'll probably tune in just to watch the chaos.
Exactly.
I mean, it could be a good race. We're going to watch it. It's going to be trash, but it could be good. It could be good, but it's probably not going to be good.
Is it Saturday or Sunday night?
That's a great question.
Not night, but evening.
July 1st, Saturday at 4 p.m. So they're giving you your Sunday. So not
Guys,
only is it on the wrong day, but it's the wrong time.
I'll probably watch a little bit of it, but then Birmingham Stallions are in the USFL Championship.
Oh, shout out to Birmingham Stallions.
Whoever that is. Anyway,
I don't know. No.
USFL football team in Birmingham.
We're going to segue onto the 5 hours and 45 minutes of Watkins Glen. So
less than that,
more like
honestly.
the 5 hours after 8,000 safety cars.
Yeah, anyways, moving on. Norman, you can talk about this one. This is your forte.
It's in his ball field, boys. Let's go play ball.
I guess we'll go ahead and just start on the topic of why he's calling it the 5 hour and 45 minute, because the race got started and the lead LMDHs in T1. One of the BMWs decided to go for a ride to the wall, self-induced. And then they still decide to start the GTDs about 30 seconds after they went through that turn with a BMW sitting in the blind turn in the middle of the track.
Like,
Yeah,
he's still there.
That was tough.
Yeah.
He's still trying to get his, like, ish together. Like, he's not going, like, rolling. We're still going back and forth. We got body parts caught under a car.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was. They should have waved it off and just gone to a full course caution right then.
They went
Why
to
would
a full
you not
course
do
yellow
that?
after, too. Like, what was the point of just
True
not
story.
doing it right away? Like, they're already bunched up. But anyways, that was strange. I thought it was weird to let the GTD field. But, I mean, I guess he looked like he was moving offline. But he had to throw it anyways to get him off the track. And then those safety cars. And then, anyways.
The flag stand right there out on the exit of turn 1, the guy didn't know what flag to throw. He just kept swapping flags. I think he threw a checkered at one point.
It's like, it's over in this corner. Don't worry about it. Poor guy. You know, they were like, should we throw a yellow? So he starts waving the yellow. No, just go in green. Okay, give me the green. And he starts throwing the green. And it's like, go get the yellow. And he goes back to yellow. He didn't know what to do.
No,
He's
he didn't.
He's probably
I
a
wouldn't know
volunteer.
what to do. I wouldn't even know what to do.
Yeah.
I'll just start chunking flags on the track.
There you go.
So, and then they got going, and about 15 minutes later, and they went on, and at about 5.5 hours to go in the race, the number 8 Tower Motorsports car dive bombs the number 52 PR1 Motorsports car into the final turn. And they both get to drive away. Third place in that class, the number 11 TDS Racing car had nowhere to go and drive straight to the wall.
And then backs out into traffic, by the way. Just saying.
Yes.
That was not
backs
intelligent.
out into traffic, and they don't throw a caution because they're trying to let people pit because they were going to throw the caution. So he got a little peeing, so he's going to try to drive his car back to pit road, and it doesn't drive very well. Backs back out in the middle of the turn and is stuck there, and eventually almost gets hit twice before they finally throw the caution.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would have been a penalty in the old League Zero.
And F1 probably too.
Yeah.
I thought that was weird though. They were kind of weird with the cautions this race. It kind of it's either throw it or don't do this weird. I mean, I guess waiting. I get it. We're all fans of waiting to see if the guy gets off the track because I mean we don't want the safety cars, especially in a 6-hour race. It's pretty short. I don't know, man. I felt like that was a perfect opportunity. You see the cars fenced and mangled. Why not just throw the safety car at that point?
And he's and again, that's a blind turn. Y'all know Watkins Glen. A lot of the turns there are blind because of the Armco barrier.
Oh yeah, and you're cooking out of that corner too to back onto the front straight there too. So,
nah,
it's what it is, I guess.
I don't know.
Your caddy boys had a rough race there. Yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, Bourdais, I don't know what he was doing. I think he just mismanaged traffic and the speed of the GTDs coming on the second to final turn and just lost it. A lot of people I've seen were trying to say that he could have saved it. The BMW helped him around. And no, he was going around even if the BMW wasn't there. I don't know if he would have hit the wall as hard, but it still was on him. And then his teammate, they got the car back and got it repaired. And then his teammate just got unlucky. And later there was a LMP3 racing, caught some GTDs, and they got impatient and took the GTDs out. And he got caught up in that too, which their day was already done, but it's still, that one was, to really talk about it, the LMP2s and LMP3s caused issues all day for traffic. All the wrecks were one of their fault.
Which is not a good look.
Yeah. The one question I had, though, is I know it's, not insanely huge of a speed difference now, I guess, when you throw all the hypercars in there. But do you think those GTPs are, too quick? Because, I mean, compared to GT cars, they're freaking ridiculous. They just blow your doors off. But, I mean, man, they're blowing doors off the P3s and 2s. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous. How do you predict they're coming up that quick? I mean, talent, I guess. Obviously, yeah. I don't have that. But
well, I was going to say, you're in the middle of your race with whatever you're racing, and then, you see them in the rear view. You look up, you see them. But, I mean, you look up again, and they're not there. They're next to you,
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, but I thought it was weird.
They had 56 cars start that race, and they were talking about how, throughout the day, the traffic's going to get bad. That's what this race is about. Honestly, it kind of calmed down after the first 3 hours of the race.
Finally got settled in.
Yeah.
After 3
but they were
hours.
at the beginning. The LMP2s, the LMP3s were what caused the issues all race. The LMDHs or the GTPs, what Antonio was calling them, and the GTDs, they were just racing their race, trying to stay out of everyone's way, and just kept getting run over. And so, but the number 6 Porsche did win the race. Actually made the pass took the other BMW past him with 5.5 minutes to go in the race. And unfortunately, at the 4-minute mark, the number 95 BMW flipped in the second to last turn and caused the caution. So if he would have waited a minute or two longer, the BMW would have won their first GTD race or GTP race. Fortunate.
Yeah, no, yeah. I thought overall though it was a decent race, considering like all the cautions and stuff. I mean, watching some of the highlights and stuff, it looked like it was still pretty cool. I mean, I thought Watkins Glen was cool, but
it was entertaining from like an entertaining point of view. If you're not looking for like on track racing.
Yeah, it was exciting in the fact that like NASCAR is exciting sometimes. There's a bunch of wrecks, a bunch of cautions. Oh my gosh, look at that car flipped over. Like that guy because their cars when they were hitting the wall, I don't know if it's just those cars. Man, they were getting tore up. I mean, they look bad. These wrecks were, like you said, they were visually entertaining, but from a racing standpoint and endurance standpoint, maybe not the best race.
I do have to say they even made the comment. What's amazing about definitely the GTPs is you can watch those cars just get torn up, and they're like Legos. They come in and they just unbolt parts and bolt parts back on. They look like they're a brand new car.
I'm curious. Does IMSA run every single class at every single event? Like, so all 4 classes will show up to every event?
Yes.
Would they ever consider running, like, I mean, I know it's not the same concept because they're all on the same track at the same time, but would they ever consider like dropping classes for smaller tracks or like bringing certain ones to certain tracks? Because I know, like, as an example, again, I know one's endurance and multi-class, one's not, but F1 brings F2 and F3 to some events. Sometimes just F1 goes, sometimes F1 and F3 goes, sometimes F1 and F2 goes. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're all there. I was just wondering if like maybe a track like that would be something to be like, hey, maybe we don't need LMP3s this week or something. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to go out there and say this as fact. I know they used to drop the DPIs from the field for Lime Rock. And I want to say they didn't have the DPIs at Virginia, but I think this year the GTPs are going to Lime Rock, which I don't see how you're going to run that many classes at Lime Rock.
That's going to be crazy. I'm surprised that's like a series they run those cars at. Like, I ran, hell, even the F3 at freaking Lime Rock's ridiculous. So I couldn't even imagine running.
Let me just double check
classes,
their schedule before I say that they might not be going there. Our next race is Canadian Tire on the 7th and 9th of July. Yeah, we're going to Lime Rock.
I mean, hell, even Canadian,
on the
even
21st and 22nd.
Canadian Tire, Mosport, by the way, same track. But even Mosport is going to be crazy with 4 classes like that too. It's pretty like one-line track. You can't really just throw it in on the outside of somebody or make it work. You kind of have to wash out of every corner sort of thing to be fast. So draft's going to be huge there down this track too. But even Lime Rock, that's going to be crazy, man. I can't even imagine running multi-class there. Do they run, I guess what I know in iRacing is the Grand Prix layout, or do they run that classic layout without that weird chicane and in that long corner there?
So the only entries are GTD Pro and GTD. So that's the only ones going to Lime Rock.
Oh,
there will be no
hypercars.
There will be
at all.
no, yeah.
So there you have it.
And they
do drop classes. I didn't know that.
They do not show on their map which one they're running. They show all the layouts on their map.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm curious to see which one they end up choosing.
They roll the dice every time when they show up. Well, 2 minutes before the race.
Yep. They're like, flip
Move
coin.
move some cones. We're good to go.
Practice 1, we're running the Grand Prix layout. Practice 2, we run a classic. And we're going to flip a coin before the start of qualifying. Pick your poison.
And BIR will just be the GTD Pros and the GTDs again, too. Those are the 2 tracks. So they will drop classes.
Interesting.
Ask and thou shall receive the info.
I was always curious about that, man, because I was trying to think of like anything faster than a GT car at Lime Rock or something is just absurd to me. Like, there's no point. That'd be like taking an F1
GT car is still freaking booking around that
That's
track.
what I'm saying. I'm just like, could you imagine taking a freaking GTP? It's like, yeah, let's go try it out at Lime Rock. Like, all right, that's cool.
That'd be like literally taking one to Monaco.
Well, I think most of it's probably you're just they must drop that class, not only because it's just ridiculous, but too safety thing. I mean, back to safety podcast, we love saying that, but I guess it's a big part of racing, so we can talk about it. But anyways, moving on.
You can talk about whatever you want to talk about, Antonio.
The wrecks there though would be pretty significant though. Like, I know you got runoff in some corners, but I mean you really don't in lots of others. Like, you
down their backstretch, if you go over that fence, there's a creek. Over that Armco barrier,
What's wrong with off-roading in a creek? Do that.
One minute you're racing, and the next minute you're you and me go fishing in the dark light in the freaking creek. Don't do that again. Oh, killing me. Anyways. Yeah, no, I mean, does that sum up the Glen?
That's a good point, actually, because I never really thought about that. But yeah, you are right. Some of those tracks would not be good. So
yeah, VIR too. I mean, I know there's runoff too, but that track's pretty crazy too.
But like we did we figure out? Hold on, let me check Most Sport to make sure they're all racing at Most.
Are we calling a?
That's another one that I'm kind of like. Would they take all class?
We're calling a cut.
GT, yeah, they're all going to be at Most Sport.
They're all going to be at Most Sport.
No, the LMP2s are not going. LMP3s, GTPs, GTDs, and GTD
Why
Pros.
Why drop the P2s but not the 3s?
Yeah,
because it's the P3s last season.
Oh, right. And we just got the car at iRacing. That's awesome. What a great time.
Man, that sounds just about right.
Are they replacing anything, or is it gone forever?
I think they're going to drop that. They're just dropping that class. A lot of the P3s are jumping to P2s or GT cars.
So, okay, I'm curious then. So, how is the intention going to be to have like a GT class? Like, because isn't there going to be no Pro and Am next year too? I thought that's what I heard. Or is that WEC?
I think you're right.
Oh,
I think that's the plan.
So there's going to be no Pro and Am. There's going to just be one. Which, by the way, this makes way more sense. But anyways, so there's going to be, to my understanding, there's going to be a GT class. And correct me if I'm wrong, because again, I don't know anything about this series. So there's going to be a GT class. There's going to be, I guess, what's technically considered a slower spec hypercar, and then there's going to be a hypercar that's like open to R&D to an extent, right?
Right.
That's cool. That makes sense. I'm with it, man. LMP3 is a waste of time. I'm sorry. I don't care about any of that class. Like, from a viewer standpoint of a complete casual fan, it seems like the most pointless class ever.
The P3s, I think, are getting their own series, though. They still won't have them. They just won't race. They'll race by themselves so the Dennis can go have their fun. But all the main teams that are running this are wanting to run in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. That's the series we're talking about for IMSA. IMSA has multiple series. But their big one is the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, and that's where the 3s are right now. The 3s will be booted from it, and a lot of the teams are trying to jump around and figure out what car they're running next year to stay in it. Because they want to all run the Rolex, these big races.
It makes sense, though. Like, why was LMP3 there to begin with? Like, it's a paid class. You should be racing a paid class in the top series of American motorsports. Like, what? How does that make any sense? But anyways, good riddance to that thing. I don't care. I'm happy to see that it's going to be gone next year, but That's good.
Wow.
No, I think the reclassification of all the classes makes sense. That's probably not the right word to use, but the restructuring of all the classes makes more sense to me.
And everybody that races LMP3, Antonio still loves you. He just thinks you're worthless.
Yeah, agreed.
There's no worth to your class whatsoever. Oh, and the shot from Norman and Dentist. We're sorry, Dentist out there. I don't know where that came from.
If you're a doctor, you're good, but not a dentist.
I guess. I mean, I don't like dentists, but I'm not going to say it on a podcast.
Yeah,
The joke is that dentists all drive an IMSA and LMP3 class.
yeah.
Oh,
fair enough.
well, good for them. That's where all our money goes.
Yeah, at least when they crash and their teeth fly out, they can fix
There
them.
you
So that's good.
Dude looked really bad racing, but he had really good teeth.
That's funny.
Anyways.
I guess F1's next.
So any
then.
Formula One drivers with
Yeah.
good teeth.
Yeah, all of them. They all got way good teeth because making tons of money. But yeah, for this week in F1, it looks like we're going to Red Bull Ring, Austrian Grand Prix. I really do like this race. It's kind of a home race, for the old Red Bullers out there. So there'll be plenty of yellow smoke, even though they tell us not to bring it, and all those good things that come along with the domination of Red Bull. But as far as the race goes, I don't, is what it is. There's not any upgrades. I usually talk about upgrades this, upgrades that. Not that I know of anything big that's coming new. So the only thing I can say is this is the second try for this sprint shootout qualifying thing that they're doing. Of course, we talked about it a little bit before. Now that we've seen it, I don't know. We've talked about it post. I'm not a big fan of it. I don't see the point in it, honestly. I just don't get what the deal is on it. I don't know. Antonio, do you have any take on what this sprint shootout? Because I know we were kind of talking about it, and or I was doing some notes, and you were like, "Man, straight hating,"
I mean, I'm not huge on it. I mean, I'm trying to pull up here the actual page here, with the schedule page.
It's a weird setup with the sprint shootout, but they say you use less tires. They say this, they say that, but I haven't looked, for the weather. But I mean, weather, if it's there, then it's all a wash anyways, and it don't matter. After that, we will have the sprint race, on Saturday, which, I mean, come on, we know who's going to win that most likely. And I don't like that, because if you get penalized for anything in qualifying and you got a fast enough car, then it does away with your 3 to 5 car penalty. Like if Max gets a penalty for impeding, let's say, or something during the, shootout qualifying, what does it matter? He's going to make it up the front during the sprint race anyways. And then Sunday, they've got the Grand Prix as usual. But,
yeah, and a reminder, there's only one practice here. I mean, I know Red Bull Ring might not be a track you need necessarily tons of practice at, because it's pretty straights and turns kind of thing. But, practice one, like you said, regular qualifying, sprint shootout, I guess, or sprint qualifying, whatever you want to call it, sprint race, and then the race. And that's it. So, happy to see more content. I guess more F1 overall throughout the weekend is nice. Again, I'm with it. I think we've had enough of these sprint qualifying, sprint races, sprint whatever you want to call weekend format to make a fair assessment of it. I thought the changes that they made would be better. I really don't think 2 qualifying sessions make sense in any way. Personally, again, if I was to see the sprint format change, I really think the best way to do it would be exactly like your other 2 series, which is what we thought would have made sense in the first place. Again, for those of you who don't know, for Formula 2 and 3, I don't know how their practice and qualifying works, but I know there is one qualifying session, and then they will typically have, it used to be the feature race first, then the sprint race, but they'll take the sprint race first and then the feature race, and for the sprint race, they'll just basically do an invert. So your qualifying will set the grid for the feature race, which is the second race, and in the sprint race, they'll do a little invert. You're still racing for points. It all still matters, but it doesn't actually affect your main race, which is huge. I think that's important. Again, I guess it's kind of the same way with this format. Like, we're getting closer, but the sprint qualifying, I don't like. Get rid of sprint qualifying, sprint race, do an invert. Do an invert. It would make it so much better.
I just don't. For us, it would be better. I agree 110%. For the viewer, it would be better. But for those guys, that I just your top teams are never gonna go for it. Never gonna go for it.
I guess, man. I just think it would make it, one, more exciting. Two, it adds to the points, and it makes it matter. And three, you're literally just gonna physically get more on track passes, and that's what we are here to see. We don't want to watch people ride around.
No.
Do I want the best car to win? Yeah, but do I want to see him get there and it take him 50 out of 56 laps? Yeah, I do. But
the DRS train last race was just ridiculous. Behind who was that? Albon, I think it was. It was putting on the block for 10 cars. That is boring, dude. It's come on.
Well, and that's going to be the problem here. I think the same thing's going to happen. This is probably a famous track for that happening. I mean, it's pretty much 3 straightaways and then an actual technical section of track. So it's famous for DRS trains. And is there 3 DRS things one on each straight too, isn't it? Or is it just 2? I can't remember.
I think so, but man, when you have shorter ones like that, they're not good enough. They're not long enough, I guess, of a straight for it to actually matter. Yeah, it'll keep them close, but that's it. Somebody's got to make a dive, and most of these guys, after about 10 or 15 laps, it just kind of seems like you can see exactly where this race is going to go,
Yeah, it's probably going to be tough, but you know what? I'm going to go into it with an open mind. I like Red Bull Ring. I enjoy it. I know a lot of people don't, but I really think it's a fun track, not only on iRacing to race on, but as a viewer, I've always thought it's a cool place. Thinking it's going to be a pretty good weekend too, so that should be good.
Did y'all want a weather update?
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
What does it look like? What does it look like?
We're looking at, this is what I know for now, and this is being recorded on Monday for everyone that's wondering, so this can change rapidly.
So put it in stone. This is what Norman said would happen. If it doesn't, I'll give you his address. You can beat him over the head with something.
I'll give you his phone number. You can spam him or something. Light up his phone. All 30 of you.
They're saying the first practices looks like it's going to be dry, and then for a chance of rain through qualifying on Friday, 60 to 26% chance during the session. Later throughout the day, light showers are forecasted around 3 for qualifying. Saturday looks like sprint qualifying, 50-50 chance of rain showers. Conditioning's worsening through the afternoon for the sprint race.
Uh-oh.
Sunday, they're thinking warmer overcast and no rain, but they're also saying don't rule it out.
There you go. Thank you, Norman, for the weather update. That's Weather Update by Norman. Remember, everybody, I'll give you his address if that doesn't come true.
And I'll give you his phone number.
If I'm being claimed a weatherman, I can be wrong.
Yeah, true. Half the time they're wrong.
Because only umpires in baseball and weathermen can be wrong over 50% of their time and still keep their jobs.
Not now. Baseball's got that replay.
Yeah. Do they have
Not
VAR
for the strike
yet,
zone.
no?
Yeah.
They don't use it for the strike zone.
What's that? Well,
right.
the strike zone, they do not have for the strike zone. But so, yeah, like I said, besides that, we'll see how the race goes. I think everybody knows probably where it's going to go. Hoping Perez can do something just for the man's own sake. I hope he does a little better than what he's been doing.
Wait, can we go back for a second? Hold on. Not to jump into something that's totally not racing related, but how is the strike zone determined in baseball? I'm a complete noob. I've always looked at that how does he just look on the fly and be like, yeah, that one's a strike, bro. That one's a ball.
Oh, okay. So it's over the plate, knees and numbers. So his name on his chest to his knees.
Oh man. So
that's over the plate.
No wonder they mess up all. How are you supposed to see that fast? The ball's coming at you at 100 miles an hour.
Okay, so as a real big baseball fan, here's the deal. You just got to be consistent. If you're calling them a little bit low and you call them low all game, then the batter knows and the pitcher knows and the catcher knows that they're all going to be called, more strikes down a little bit below the plate. But when they bounce around, it's a pain in the butt. Anyways, probably for a whole other podcast, but there's your little baseball tidbit for the day.
We should have a baseball special. I'd be cool. I'd be in it to know all about baseball. He's repping the baseball shirt too. Look at it.
I know.
Norman's got Spartans on. Get the hell out of here. Anyways.
But yeah, no.
That's my high school.
Loser.
Anyways, you're right back to the racing.
Wait, so high school, wasn't that 40 years ago or something for you?
He's got a high school shirt.
You probably graduated before I was even born. Would you graduate?
The man bought extra and left him in a box.
Oh, okay. No, I was born. I was like 4. You're good. You're not classified as old yet. What about you, Levi? I know you're sitting there sneakily trying to not get mentioned, huh?
I'm trying to move on here. We don't want to talk about when I graduated. Let's just move on.
Back in my day, we didn't have no Wi-Fi.
Yeah. No, they actually didn't have Wi-Fi.
No, they had chalkboards and erasers, and that's about it. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, so really the biggest F1 news, I think, for me personally, is the Alpine has actually been, a chunk of Alpine has been purchased at 220 million pounds. It's close to $1, for an investor group that included Ryan Reynolds. I don't know if y'all ever watched the Wrexham stuff when he was on, was it Hulu?
It's on FX, and it is a really good show. Antonio, you need to watch it.
I know.
Yeah, it's really good. It's about football, the English type, not the American type. But I don't know much about soccer, but they just bought into this team. Just give you a little update on what he's been doing. Him and Rob McElhaney, which is part of this group also, this purchasing group.
Sonny in Philadelphia is his main thing.
Yeah, Sonny in Philadelphia. Everybody knows him from that if you know him. If you're not, he's a cool dude too. They're both really big. What I like about it is they are rich and they are actors. And they do go and do this stuff. But with Wrexham, they really did do and put a lot of money and a lot of effort. Like, they really care about sports. They're really competitive. So to see them come to F1, not only does it, I think, help with us as F1 fans. I think it's going to, Alpine's going to be something. They're not going to let it fall apart. They do only own 24%. That's a big percentage of an F1 team. If you think about probably how many hands are in that. I wish I knew more of the details on that, which we may get into at a future date, because I would really like to know what, okay, so this one investor grew at 24%. Does everybody else got 2%? So they're the main, do they get to say a lot what's going on? But anyway, so that is kind of big news. I know it blew up my social media. I think it was this morning or yesterday, whenever that finally went down. Monday, like I said, when we're recording this, but big news. So Ryan Reynolds will be at the track. He'll be bringing stuff to the track. I know he owns his own companies. I'm sure they'll be on the car. They're going to be throwing money at this thing. They said 100 races is what they're shooting for before they get a championship. So start doing the math, and that's only a few years down the road, which I think the team is already in the right direction. They've been really doing well. So good stuff. But, Michael B. Jordan.
I'd like to do some more research, and let's get really into that topic next week.
Yeah, we'll do some stuff on that. And then Michael B. Jordan is also part of this group, and like I said, it is an investor group. There's a lot of people. So there's 3 big names in entertainment, which we've all kind of talked about and touched on. The F1's kind of leaning towards an entertainment at this point. So why not bring in some competitive people and not just LeBron James waving a flag at Le Mans? You know what I mean? Like, let's
was that waving?
Well, flopping around with a flag in his hand, which he's good at flopping. So there you go.
Damn, shots fired.
I shots fired all the time at this man. I'm sorry. You get me started, I go stop now. So thank you, Lamar. I can shoot LeBron James down on my podcast on a weekly basis. But besides that, man, I think In It, Win It, Vin It picks will be this week because we have an F1 race. Shout out to Dave, not being able to be with us. Anyways, love you, Dave. He did give his picks. Hey, Tony, you got those?
I do have them here. So we're going to go in order from bad to great. So his bin pick is Lando. So that's pretty tough. He says he's been impressed with Oscar, and with Norris crashing out, he gets a free place. So I was like, fair enough. That is true. So I guess it's Lando's turn to bin it. In it is Oscar Piastri, which is why he swapped the 2, by the way. I should probably clarify that. I like that. He's going on the extravagant answers. And his win pick is Ham freaking Sandwich. And if there is ever a time to pick Lewis Hamilton, I'm thinking now's the time. Like, he's on the come up, bro. They got a good car.
He's looking better, man. That podium that we saw last race was kind of like the podium I thought we were going to see. When it first all kind of started, until Mercedes actually took the car out on the track, and then I figured out this isn't how it's going to be. But it only took us a few races, and we're back there. So, yeah, For sure.
Oh, yeah. So I guess if we're going in order, that means it would be Levi, Norman, and then me, which somehow I feel like that's wrong. Wait, are we going the other way? Is it me next?
No, it's Levi. You
You missed yours
messed up
because you were
last week.
gone and you didn't give us picks, bro.
Okay, well, then I'm going now. Now it's my turn.
No, you're
No.
last
Nope,
again.
too bad. Nope,
This is
I'm
how
not
this
last.
works.
It's going me.
Nah,
It does
We
because I run the pick
we
list.
took a vote and we all agreed that you go last 2 weeks in a row.
Nope, I ran the pick list. It's my turn. Because did Dave go first last time?
Yeah, they went first 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, that's a scam. I should be going
technically,
first. then.
yes, he did.
Okay, then I'm going next. That's right. Too bad. My turn. Screw
Wait.
y'all. I'm going next. I wanted to say, by the way,
How did we
got
get voted out on this, Levi?
I
I'm
got
okay with this
didn't pick.
until he picks somebody that I was going to pick. Then
All
we're
right,
shutting it down
anyways,
and I'm going.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
I got the bin pick right last time. I'm just saying. So
You did.
that means I got to do it right this time again. So who are we picking to bin it this week?
he's not even ready.
Of
Oh
course-
my gosh.
Of course I'm not
Yeah.
ready.
This man.
I didn't know we were going to in it, bin it, win it, freaking send it. I don't know. Anyways, what am I supposed to do? Anyways, moving on. Who do you think's going to bin it this week? You know, I'm thinking Russell's going to bin it. He sucks.
Oh.
He's going to bin it. That's right. I got Russell.
Ouch.
Russell's going to absolutely lose it. I'm going to call my boy Bottas to be in it. I think he's going to come out of the woodwork and somehow cash money his way into some points.
Good luck with that one.
Still love that guy. He dropped his booty live on Instagram, by the way. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see that again. He was not in the river this time. He was standing in the river this time. So that's
Yeah.
cool.
Love showing the booty.
Full moon out there. But
Botas booty.
yeah, Bottas booty. Win it. We're going to go with Alonso because that's a free pick, and I think he's going to do decent.
All right, scratch it. He's done. Those picks don't count. I'm going now.
All right, Alonso to win it. I mean, even though he actually probably won't win it, but let's see. All right, Levi, your turn.
Yeah, I took all your picks. Bye.
Yes, my
All right. Yeah, the old Bennett is going to be Yuki this time. He hasn't done it in a while. I haven't picked him in a while, so I think he's due. I think he's due one. My in it pick is Ocon. Alpine's really been showing some stuff out there. Pierre needs to catch up with him, but Ocon's been doing a good job. And I haven't really been the biggest Ocon fan, but dude's doing pretty good. I guess with the win it pick, shoot, let's throw one off in there. Signs, baby. I'll pick the Signs, man. Why not? Smooth operator. Get her done. Norman, you're dead last for no reason.
I know. I just got screwed over.
Yeah, you did.
Your fault. Tough. Feels bad.
We're gonna all start with the Bennett. I'm gonna go with Grosjean Yu.
Grosjean you. How did you say Grosjean now, but you got Grosjean last time? Can someone explain that? to me?
Joe.
It's Joe.
You got me thinking about it.
Joe. Not Grosj. How you gonna say Grosjean?
All I got to say, Dave,
Go.
that was for you, buddy. He's going to love that.
There's no way.
He's
that
gonna
that's
bend
happening.
it.
Can you say it one more time for everyone in the back?
No,
Come on.
you can't make me say something when I'm thinking about it because I can't say stuff when I think.
Is that how you're supposed to talk?
What's your in it? What's your in it?
Right in it.
Oh, yeah, look who else isn't ready. Yeah, exactly.
I also
Exactly.
wasn't listening to Levi when he picked.
He
So I was
picked
trying to make
Ocon.
my picks. Okay, I'll pick Alonso then to be in it. That's an easy one.
Oh,
I'll take some points
in it, eh? Huh? Crazy.
because
Man.
I'm getting screwed over on the win it pick because all the good drivers are gone now.
Wow, that's your fault there.
No, it's not.
Levi, who'd you pick to win?
You
again?
were supposed to be last this week.
Signs, baby.
Oh, Signs. So
No,
kind of.
I'll go with Russell for win it. I don't think he will, but
Wow, have some faith.
you know, I think Mercedes is better than Ferrari now. So
We'll have to see.
you know, if Alonso's gone, and I think Hamilton's better than Russell, which I did watch a thing on a lie detector. Russell thinks that Hamilton is the GOAT.
Well, it's almost like he's teammates with him, and he's British, so he probably is going to think that. That's that British bias kicking in. So does everyone at Silverstone. Just saying.
I thought it was interesting, though. But yeah, those are my picks.
Heck yeah. Yeah. And really the only thing left on F1 is my every other week, whenever they have a race. Rumors of Danny Rick maybe going to AlphaTauri again. Woo!
I seen that.
Every week, dude, there's something. I think everybody just loves the guy, but I don't think it's ever gonna happen. But yeah, besides that, man, it's a wrap up. This weekend.
We've got IndyCar coming up this weekend.
Mid Ohio, right?
Yes.
And that's on Sunday with the Grand Prix because NASCAR's on Saturday at 4. So you can watch a lot of racing going on this week. Shout out Team Goon Squad on the sim racing front. They will be going back at it this weekend.
Endurance Series is kicking back out, yes, this Saturday at 4 Eastern. I'm thinking this one is a broadcasted race on Team Goon Squad's YouTube channel. Unfortunately, MSR will not be there this weekend. I will be out of town, and it's just too hard to try to put a team together while I'm not there.
Which, if you don't remember, is Norman's team, GT3?
GT3, we're going to the 992 new Porsche that just released for iRacing. We'll be running that this season. We're still in communications with some people in this podcast about running an LMP3, but haven't heard anything back. So there's a rumor out there that an LMP3 will be joining the team. Maybe.
It's also a rumor they're going to have a fat paint scheme on the Porsche.
Yes, the paint scheme will be released here soon. It'll probably be released after this race because we gave the painter a extended time because we're not going to be there.
So, painter really appreciated it too, by the way. Just saying.
I think it's a really hard paint scheme too. So.
Nah, it's not too hard, but we're good. I mean, it's hard. It's hard. Yeah. You guys should pay up and whatnot.
I'll definitely be shouting out the painter when the paint scheme's released. Y'all know who that is here shortly too.
He's a really good dude. He's from Oklahoma, actually, just like me.
Yeah.
But besides that, League Zero, what's going on there lately?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's almost like I should know, like it's my league or something. But we're going to Red Bull Ring. We're going to Red Bull Ring this week, so that's cool.
Matching F1. Yep.
Matching F1 this week. We're doing the single Grand Prix race, so that'll be cool. Different from our normal feature sprint format. In the standings wise, our boys, me and Ray in Avanti, have taken over the team championship lead, so that's cool. We got a 31-point gap on Squid Game Racing, so that's cool. Drivers' Championship, my boy Ray also has a 50-point lead over Finley Fitzsimmons, who missed a race last week. Now, keep in mind, we haven't had the drop weeks kick in yet, so we're not too sure 100% where everybody stands yet.
Finley raced last week.
We'll have to see where it goes. Whatever, Finley raced last week. He missed the week before. Same thing. But anyways,
that last week's was a really good race. I watched it all on YouTube.
It was a good race, which, by the way, check out our boys' Team Goon Squad on YouTube. They be streaming all of our races live, except for the race before this one, which was, I believe, Montreal.
Yeah. Yes.
You missed that one, unfortunately, but it's all good. I mean, we didn't miss it. It's just tape delayed. Not like you can watch it live now anyways. Who cares? But anyways, check those boys out. He always does a freaking fantastic job. We love that guy.
Awesome job.
Other than that...
Tune in this week. I think it's Gareth McAllister's birthday. So tune in and tell him happy birthday in the comments.
Always
inside joke there.
Yeah.
And our boy Finley won the sprint race in that race by passing his teammate Gareth. Gareth came in second, unfortunately. I think team orders were in play there.
Getting scammed, eh?
Yeah.
Tough. Anyways, check us out. We're gonna be live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Actually, I think it's 9. I think 9's race start. So maybe check us out at 9. That'll be June 29th. So that'll be Thursday.
I might try to make that race too.
Therefore, maybe you shouldn't check it out because we're all gonna die. So
yes. You don't have to worry about me being there. I can't make it. So as usual for the last 3 freaking seasons. But anyways, was this lap 23 in the books? 23 is it 23? Yeah. Thanks for.
I can't think of a driver. I was
Trying
trying to think of a driver.
A little bit short this week, but we're just blessing your ears to have maybe a good lap 24 or maybe some secret sauce.
Hold on, the 23 is Bubba Wallace, correct?
Oh, yeah. I was trying to think of some like old school driver, and I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, I can't think of anything either. Anyways, thanks for tuning in.
Antonio's going to like next week with Jeff Gordon.
Oh, I didn't think about that. Well, Dave's got the little thing in his flag or plaque thing. He's got him with the shades on them, alien shades from the 90s. Looking
That means we'd be only
Rainbow
4
Warrior.
laps away from you know who.
I'm just saying, Gordon's pretty sexy.
Yeah, I think we'll probably skip 28.
Yeah,
No,
we
I
should
don't
do
think
20.
so.
It's a pretty bad number. I'm not gonna lie.
I've never seen anything that's cool with 28 on it.
I've never seen 28 win a race.
Oh.
Technically, they won an Xfinity race a few weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
Anyways.
doesn't count.
What's that?
They don't race in NASCAR anymore. Almost
for
kind of
sure.
like it's a retired number for some reason.
They're tired of getting such so bad. Anyways, all right.
Oh, baby, Alice is hating for you.
How's more about Norman?